This is a training session that I did back in 2004 when I did training sessions. And I'm working with a player, and the emphasis here is on using the lower body to throw the baseball. I typically start off with my introduction lecture in terms of the importance of coordinating upper and lower body, showing typically a very non-energetic throw. And right now, arm leg connection, going to show it. And now that is what I want to see. This loading, pelvic loading, pelvic unloading. It's not pushing off the rubber. What I try to emphasize is not pushing off the rubber. It's rotating off the rubber. That's not rotating what I just showed. That's not rotating. And I'm not sure what I'm saying there. I'm probably trying to make some point, emphasis, about maybe the backside, front side. In other words, it's not a pushing. I'm not trying to develop momentum off the backside per se. I'm trying to rotate off the backside. And let's see what I'm going to do here. There, I'm showing the loading. Oh, this is the step over move. Critical importance. What I call the giddy up move. I've called it giddy up move. There, that's rotating into foot plant. It's not crashing into foot plant. And let's see what I'm going to do here. I haven't looked at this in 10 years. That's how most players, that's pushing off the rubber. Linear. So they're trying to show here is linear. All you're doing is going out and stomping, as opposed to loading the pelvic, loading the pelvic, loading the pelvic. And I'm exaggerating. I'm showing the handbrake connection and pelvic loading. There I just showed a push off. Again, load, unload. See that unload? Very important. Here we have a clip of Espinosa, and again, the reason why, just interesting. I just picked these two Red Sox pitchers because I knew of them in Connecticut, and they've both been traded, and they were both also very highly rated, number ones basically on the Red Sox. And what I wanted to emphasize here is the pelvic loading aspect. If you watch Espinosa, this move, by the way, where the knee comes up and goes back, is important because it creates momentum, not momentum to go into foot plant, but momentum to be pulled out of the leg as you come out of loading. You see that? See the classic loading posture? And then we go rotate in. Look at the back leg. He's rotating in. He's not pushing into foot plant. He's rotating into foot plant. And the critical point here is the front hip becomes the axis of rotation. Also, look at how much the hips are open. They're open probably right now about 60 or 70 degrees. And that's because he's rotating off the back side. If you look at the back foot and watch the back foot, how it drags around. See how the back foot drags around? Because what he's doing is he's really trying to rotate. What he's doing now is he's rotated and he's bracing up around that front hip joint. But rotation continues, upper body rotation continues around that front hip joint. And by the way, the straightening of the hip joint is coming not because of momentum crashing into it, but because it's a reaction to the pulling forward of the upper torso. And pulling it the upper torso coming forward is not momentum, it's being pulled by muscles. And that's what the whole reaction of the body is, muscular. So the key point here is you just need enough momentum to carry yourself forward, and rotation does everything else. Another clip, again, as I said, Red Sox. I'm not sure why I got hung up on them today, other than I was looking at players who have been traded and who also are number ones. This is Kovac. Again, look at the knee lift. Look at the knee is behind the center line. Again, he's going to create momentum with the knee so that he can pull out of that leg to help him rotate. He's not driving into foot plant. You just don't see any crashing. Here's that classic. See how closed off he is? This is the pelvic loading move. And he rotates. He rotates into foot plant. And he's rotating around and over that front hip joint. It's not momentum that's carrying him over that front hip joint in terms of the velocity. It's rotation that's carrying him over that front hip joint. And what he's doing is he needs just enough momentum to come off the rubber to help carry him through the delivery. Again, just to give you, see how he's pelvic load move, keeping closed and then rotating around. And this itself this would be what I would call the step over move right here. See how that's stepping over move? And that's critical because then he comes off the back side and actually pulls himself. Extend. If you want to, there is some extension here, and that extension helps the rotation around the front hip joint. It's not going into foot plant. It's actually where you're trying to do is get rotation around that front hip joint as you're going into foot plant. All right, this concludes my little tutorial for today. Thank you.